Scientists took an enzyme out of a pineapple and tested it on human protein tissue in a lab. Within minutes, it started breaking that protein down completely. Same enzyme. The one sitting inside a fresh pineapple right now is doing that exact same thing the moment it hits your mouth. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what this enzyme does on the way through your digestive system, and why the pineapple in most grocery stores has had it completely destroyed before you even open the can. This isn't on the nutrition label, it's not in the health section of a magazine, and your doctor has almost certainly never brought it up by name because this isn't about vitamin C and it isn't about fiber. This is about what happens in your mouth, your stomach, and your gut within seconds of eating the right form of this fruit. The right form, that part matters, and by the end of this you'll know exactly what it means. Think about the last time you ate pineapple. Maybe canned, maybe fresh, maybe as juice, sweet, a little sharp, and afterward your tongue felt kind of raw. Most people just shrug that off. Here's what nobody tells you about that feeling. That's not acidity, that's an enzyme actively breaking down the surface proteins on your tongue in real time while you're chewing. And in the right context, that same process is one of the most useful digestive tools a food can hand your body for free. The enzyme is called bromelain. It's what's known as a proteolytic enzyme. Proteolytic just means it breaks down proteins. Specifically, it cuts the bonds holding protein chains together. Picture a protein like a long chain of paper clips linked end to end. Bromelain works like a pair of scissors, snipping that chain at specific points until it falls apart into smaller pieces. Smaller pieces your digestive system can actually absorb and use, instead of struggling to break down a chain that's still fully intact. Your stomach already makes its own protein-cutting enzymes, pepsin, trypsin, but they only work well in a narrow pH range. Bromelain doesn't have that limitation. It stays active from the second it enters your mouth, all the way through your stomach acid and into your small intestine. A review published in Biotechnology Research International in 2012 confirmed that bromelain holds onto its activity across the entire pH range of the human digestive tract. No other common food enzyme does that, which means a fresh pineapple isn't just a fruit sitting in a bowl. It's a digestive tool that works the entire length of your gut, start to finish. If this is new to you, that's exactly why this channel exists. Hit subscribe now, because what I'm about to show you next is the reason bromelain is being studied in clinical trials for something that has nothing to do with digestion at all. Inflammation. Bromelain doesn't just break down the protein in your food, it breaks down inflammatory proteins inside your own tissue. Specifically, it targets something called fibrin. Fibrin is the structural scaffold your body builds during inflammation. When tissue is injured or irritated, your body lays down these fiber networks that trap fluid, immune cells, and cellular debris. That trapped mess is what you actually feel as swelling, heat, and pain. Bromelain cuts through fibrin. Think of fibrin like the scaffolding wrapped around an old building. Bromelain is the crew that comes in and takes that scaffolding down piece by piece at the molecular level. A meta-analysis published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine in 2016 looked across multiple randomized controlled trials on bromelain and inflammation. The finding was consistent. Bromelain supplementation reduced key inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein, across both acute and chronic conditions in the population studied. Now here's the part almost no doctor brings up in a normal appointment, because it involves what bromelain does to the mucus lining of your gut, and it works differently than most people assume. Your intestinal wall is coated in a mucus layer made of proteins called mucins. Over time, processed food, stress, alcohol, certain medications, all of it wears that layer down. And a worn-down mucus layer means pathogens and undigested particles start making direct contact with the cells lining your intestine. That's the mechanism behind what researchers call intestinal permeability. Bromelain, in the right amount from fresh pineapple, does something that sounds backwards at first. It temporarily thins that outer mucus layer. And that thinning is actually the trigger. It signals your intestinal cells to produce fresh mucin. New mucus, denser, more protective than what was there before. Think of it like pressure washing a wall before you repaint it. You strip the old, worn layer first, and the new coat that goes on after actually holds. A study published in Clinical Nutrition in 2008 showed that bromelain modulates intestinal secretion in a way that supports that kind of mucosal renewal in human intestinal tissue. Your gut lining getting reinforced not by a supplement, not by a prescription, by a fruit that's been part of tropical diets for thousands of years. So what do you actually do with all of this? 3 steps. Simple, specific, nothing complicated. Step 1, always choose fresh over canned. Heat destroys bromelain completely. The high-temperature canning process denatures the enzyme before it ever reaches you. Canned, cooked, pasteurized into juice, doesn't matter which, if it's been heated, the bromelain is already gone. Only fresh or freshly frozen pineapple keeps it active. That tingle on your tongue when you eat it fresh. That's your confirmation the enzyme is alive and doing its job. Step 2, eat it before a protein-heavy meal, not after. Bromelain works best as a predigestive tool. Eaten 15 to 30 minutes before meat, fish, or legumes, it starts breaking down that protein before your stomach enzymes even get involved, which takes real pressure off your stomach and small intestine. Most people eat pineapple as dessert right after the meal. That's actually the least useful time to eat it. Step 3, don't throw away the core. Most people cut it out and toss it because it's tougher to chew. But the core actually holds the highest concentration of bromelain in the entire fruit, more than the flesh you're used to eating. You don't have to eat it raw and whole. Blend it into a smoothie, run it through a juicer, or chop it fine and toss it into a salad. That core is the most valuable part of the fruit, and almost everyone throws it straight in the trash. This information exists in the scientific literature. It's published, it's peer-reviewed, it's sitting there for anyone to find. It just never makes it to the people who'd actually use it. That's the entire reason this channel exists, to close that gap. After this video, you're not someone who eats pineapple without thinking about it anymore. You know what bromelain does in your mouth, your stomach, your intestinal wall. You know why fresh matters, when to eat it, and which part of the fruit you've been throwing away. And that changes what you reach for the next time you're standing in the produce aisle. If this was worth your time, hit like. It's a 2-second signal that tells me you want more breakdowns like this instead of the usual eat more fruit advice with zero explanation behind it. Subscribe if you're not already, and share this with the one person you know who always tosses the core straight in the trash. One more thing, tell me in the comments, fresh pineapple or canned? I actually read every single one. And stick around, because next time I'm breaking down what a specific compound inside salmon does to the membrane of every single cell in your body. Not just your muscles, not just your brain, every cell you have. It's going to change the way you look at the fish counter for good.